The movie kicks off in the Stone Age. A caveman's out looking for food, finds some flowers, and heads home to his cave. His wife greets him, gives him dinner, and he gives her the flowers, food, and some tools. Then he makes a little ring out of the flowers and puts it on her finger. Boom! The first wedding ring is born. Flash forward to today. Meet Lucy. She's stylish, sharp, and works for a fancy matchmaking company. As she's leaving her house, a guy stares at her. She walks up and asks if he's single and looking. She gives him her card, says she can help find the perfect woman as long as he's got his specs ready. Then Lucy calls a client to ask about his date with Sophie, the one she set up. But the guy's super shallow. He complains Sophie was older and not skinny enough, then cancels his subscription. Lucy's disgusted. She meets with Sophie, who thinks the date went great and wants to see the guy again. Lucy gently tells her he's not interested and didn't feel any chemistry. Sophie's crushed. Lucy reassures her she'll find someone much better for her. Back at the office, Lucy's coworkers throw her a surprise party. She just made her 9th match that led to marriage. She gives a little speech about how love isn't about perfection, it's about finding the right person, even if expectations have to shift a bit. Later, Lucy talks to her friend about Sophie. She admits Sophie's picky and not exactly a catch. Her standards are higher than what she brings to the table. Lucy says people shouldn't expect too much and end up alone just because of impossible standards. Her friend jokes that even height isn't a problem anymore. Guys can get surgery to grow taller. Then she tells Lucy it's time she found someone too. But Lucy says she's happy single. At Charlotte's wedding, another successful match of hers, Lucy goes solo. She's out there networking, telling people she's only responsible for the first date. What happens after is up to them. You can have all the right ingredients, but without love, it won't work. Across the room, a guy is watching Lucy. He's been listening the whole time, clearly interested. Later, Lucy finds Charlotte crying before the ceremony. Charlotte's scared, feels trapped, and thinks her sister might be jealous because she's marrying rich. Lucy listens, comforts her, and helps her calm down. The wedding goes ahead, and it's beautiful. At the end, that same guy quietly sits down next to Lucy and writes his name on the seat beside hers. Turns out the guy who sat next to Lucy is the groom's brother. He introduces himself and tells her he overheard her talking and was seriously impressed. He says he loved how she flipped the narrative, making it seem like the women were the ones in demand, when really they needed him more than he needed them, like all valuable things in life. He tells her his mom's been bugging him to get married, and since he knows what she does for a living, he figured she could help him. He asks if her job is hard. Lucy, kinda intrigued by his confidence, tells her, yeah, it's not easy. She has to juggle schedules, likes, dislikes, and hope there's a spark. Love makes things simple. But most of the time, people care more about looks, style, and social status. Without chemistry, it just doesn't click. He offers to grab her a drink, but before she even answers, her favorite one's already on the table. The waiter? Her ex, John. He remembers. They chat later that night. John's working catering now, still struggling. Lucy broke up with him years ago because he was broke. Their last fight was over a parking fee on their anniversary. She admits it still hurts, but she felt like she had to end it. He walks her home, she asks him to stay, but he says no. Nothing's changed and he doesn't want to drag her down. Before leaving, he invites her to a play he's in. She says she'll come. Meanwhile, Lucy's still juggling crazy clients. One wants a woman who's basically 5 people in one. Another refuses to date anyone older than 27, and he's 48. One guy wants a 20-year-old girlfriend. It's a mess. Then she meets Harry, stylish, confident, rich. He says real love is random, and he's looking for something real. They start dating, his family adores him, and Lucy starts wondering if she's actually falling for him or just the lifestyle. He's clearly loaded and she feels out of his league. But Harry opens up, says he's done with shallow relationships. He wants someone real, grounded, someone like her. While Lucy was thinking about status and money, Harry was thinking long-term, real connection. He wants her. Lucy can't say no. Things get serious. Then she visits his house, and what she finds totally blows her mind. Harry tells Lucy his apartment's worth $12 million. She's in total shock, like she stepped into a movie. Meanwhile, John is barely scraping by, paying rent for a tiny room with roommates. He calls Lucy, leaves a voicemail about his upcoming play, and says he hopes she comes. Next morning, Lucy is still in Harry's luxurious apartment. He hands her the keys like it's no big deal and heads off to work. She makes breakfast, checks in on clients, and finally gets a win. Mark loved his date with Sophie and wants to see her again. Lucy's thrilled. Until everything crashes. Her boss calls her in. Sophie's lawyer contacted the company. Sophie says Mark assaulted her. Lucy's stunned. She's told to not contact Sophie again and feels awful, blaming herself. She cries, going over Mark's profile, wondering what she missed. Later, Harry takes her to see John's play. After the show, John's excited to hear their thoughts. Harry's kind and encouraging, but Lucy's still distracted. At a nearby pub, John tries to comfort her, saying matchmaking is unpredictable. Lucy snaps, feeling like he's belittling her job, and storms off. The next day, Lucy's frustrated with her clients. They're shallow and think the world owes them love. One woman lists a mile-long wish list of what she wants in a man. She's had enough and tells her straight, maybe you're single because your standards don't match who you are. She's still torn up about Sophie, especially after finding out Sophie canceled her membership and blames Lucy. Her boss tells her to take a forced 4-week break. A going-away party is thrown, but Lucy doesn't show up. Instead, she goes to find Sophie in person. She tracks her down at a boutique, but when she tries to apologize, Sophie lashes out, angry, hurt, and unforgiving. Lucy's crushed. Back at home, Lucy breaks down and calls John. She can't bring herself to open up to Harry. John just listens. He tells her gently, Sophie's pain isn't her fault. She didn't pick a bad man. He was just a bad guy. Lucy finds a wedding ring in her suitcase and starts freaking out. Things with Harry are moving way too fast. That night, she notices a scar on his leg. Harry admits he had surgery to get taller, like his brother, because Charlotte, his brother's wife, only dated tall guys. He says he wanted to feel confident, like investing in himself the same way he does his business. Later, they finally talk. Lucy tells him this relationship feels more like a business deal than real love. She says he's great, but not the guy for her. Harry gets it, says he's always been focused on work and doesn't really know how to love. He tries to lighten the mood, says he was too short to approach her before the surgery. Then they part ways. Lucy shows up at John's place. She tells him she was supposed to go to Iceland with Harry, but now she has nowhere to stay. John jokes his place is a mess, but suggests they use his play money to crash at a hotel. They hit the road. While driving, Lucy says, "You haven't changed." John says, "I wish I had. Maybe then I wouldn't have lost you." They follow a wedding van to a random ceremony and crash it. Lucy reflects on how marriage isn't always what people think. Sometimes love fades and ruins lives. At the wedding, they dance. Lucy's clearly catching feelings again, but John pulls away. He asks if she's really into him or just rebounding. He tells her if he were giving advice as a friend, he'd never tell her to choose a broke 37-year-old waiter with no stability. Lucy cries. She admits she's become materialistic, shaped by her job, and confesses she's never really understood love. She asks how he can still love her after everything. Then she walks away. Just then, Sophie calls, crying, scared. Mark is outside her apartment trying to get in. Lucy grabs John and rushes over. On the way, she stays on the phone with Sophie in case anything happens. When they arrive, Mark is gone. Lucy stays with Sophie until she calms. When she comes out, John is asleep on the stairs, waiting for her. Lucy tells him Sophie's pressing charges. She thanks him. Then John says, "I'll love you and protect you the rest of my life. That's all I've got. If that's enough, take it. If not, I get it." Lucy says yes. She realizes she can love and she wants to start fresh with them. They work hard and live fully. The final scene, John on one knee with a flower ring asking Lucy to marry him. Fade out.